Hey guys, welcome back to another Auto-TerraFirmaCraft episode. Between the episodes I actually made some good progress. For example, all of the wolves are tamed here. I actually started taming the wolves and then somebody else was playing in the server. I was so worried about losing all of the progress. I just stayed on for 2 hours longer and did a lot of work around the home. So for example, the wolves are tamed. Unfortunately, they don't really do anything. So if I break the leads, for example, they will just stand and not move at all. Just stand there all day long. Also, they wouldn't teleport if I run away, as far as I can tell. So I actually run over here. No, just look at me. So I'm not entirely sure if the pet system in regards to wolves is actually fleshed out. I actually looked it up. This TerraFirmaCraft version I'm playing right now, so the Auto-TerraFirmaCraft version is a bit behind, was the first one where wolf taming was actually introduced. Maybe there will be some more features later. They might actually attack some skeletons, but we have some underground, but yeah, usually they don't get up at all. At some point we also probably want to clear that underground. I always hear mobs below and so on. Okay, yeah, also can't tell them to sit down or anything. I think I'm just gonna leash them again here. Maybe we'll find out if there's a use for the wolves. Got a baby wolf that I got here. Also now has familiarity 23.5. So I try to get this to 100, but I doubt it's gonna do anything different. The wild wolves, like the other wild animals you tamed, only can get to 35. Yeah, wild animals. There's also one more we can check out. The rooster just has grown up. 10 minutes before I started recording, the rooster has grown up. And because it was a baby, I could actually get it to familiarity 62. So it seems like baby animals have always half the familiarity of the parents. So that's, I guess, a benefit. But if you then breed the babies again, then of course you'll start at 50. So I guess you want some breeding animals that at least get the baby animals started at 50 all the time. Okay, but we'll get into this a bit more later. Definitely one of the things I want to do now is actually build a chicken coop. So they're a bit separate from the other animals and actually can roam around freely. It seems like that's actually a condition for them to lay eggs in the nest box. Okay, then, yeah, the horse, fully tamed, the fast one. 13 speed at 3.6 jump height. Actually also gonna craft some horse armor for the guy later. Then yeah, got another baby armor, which is in fact a baby alpaca, of course, but it can also be sheared. So you can shear the babies. So we got 5 alpacas in total we can shear. We have 40 wool items already. Actually quite a lot. Okay, then made a bit of progress around the house as well. And the stone brick house looked a little bit boring. So replace some of it with some logs to make it look a bit more interesting. This actually also helped me because I got a bit of stone back from replacing it with the wood and was able to expand it a bit further. So the wooden roof is almost finished. Here there's a bit more structure. Now we got a separate room here. Brought some barrels in. Got a dividing wall in between. I think we can also have barrels here on the other side. So yeah, lots of space to work with. Then I also started digging a little bit here in the basement. Removed most of one layer, but it's quite tedious with the shovel. So yeah, still nowhere close to be able to insta-mine it. I don't think it's actually possible in TerraFirmaCraft. That just takes a while. I also try to understand the food system a little bit better because one of my goals would definitely be to max out the HP at some point and eat the best possible food and automate as much of it as possible. And yeah, look at the numbers. For example, barley bread gives you 1.0 grain if you eat it. In comparison, the oat bread, which I'm mostly eating, only gives you 1.0. So I would need to eat more of the oat bread to get the same grain value. So definitely barley bread would be way better than oat. Definitely. Then the same goes for rye bread and rice bread. They all give you 1.5, and corn, oat and wheat bread 1.0. So unfortunately, I hardly have any of the rice seeds and no rye or barley seeds at all. So next season I'm gonna try to grow some rice, which actually needs to be planted in water. Then also if you look at the vegetables, a lot of them give you 1.0 and so on. You know, soybean 0.5 vegetables and protein, which is kind of good. But for some reason, the garlic seems really OP. It gives you vegetables 2.0. So that's actually really good. Seems like that's the best type of vegetable. Depends a little bit how long it lasts before it spoils. Then the potato, which I actually decided to not grow because it requires a high humidity and would have been a bit of an issue, actually also gives you 0.5 grain and 1.5 vegetables. So next season, I think I got like 50 potato seeds. Definitely gonna try to grow those. Then when it comes to dairy, cheese seems to be just the best. Then eggs give you a little bit, 1.3, but yeah, cheese 10 times as much. It seems like those are the only two sources of dairy, eggs, or cheese. A couple other ones, dried seaweed, yeah, not that great. Comes to meat, it also seems like chicken, pork, bear, and so on is best. Fish, not quite as good. Bit of a shame because we could definitely easily automate a fish farm. Those are just mobs that spawn. Unlike the cows and so on, unless we actually manage to pull it off and make a passive mob farm. But this would pretty much require to completely clear the spawn chunks, make sure no passive mobs are there, and then have some sort of a passive mob perimeter where we have animals spawning, if it works like that. But so far it seems like we have vanilla mob spawning rules. I don't know, with the drilling things from Create mod, perimeter might actually be feasible. We have to look into this, but this would definitely be one of the late game goals. Okay, then I also figured out that we cannot, at least I think, we cannot have 5 of the nutrition groups in one type of food. So at best we can have everything except fruit on a sandwich and everything except dairy in a soup. Bit of a shame, but yeah, that's how it is, it seems like. So my ideal goal would be in the end, we have some sort of a container. Not sure if you can use a comparator on a vessel. If we take out the sandwich, it would automatically make us a new one. Not sure if we can get to this, but this would definitely be the end goal. We'll have to see about that. Yeah, automation definitely also become a huge part of the series right now. It's been mostly the Auto-TerraFirmaCraft exploration content and so on, which is also kind of nice for change for me. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to automating things. Okay, so much for introduction. Now let's actually make a bit more progress. I definitely want to get that sphalerite now. So basically head out to where we've been before, we mine the silver, and also look for kaolinite there, so we can make that crucible, which is going to be a huge help when making alloys, and also the blast furnace, which is required to make steel, requires a lot of kaolinite and graphite. Okay, let's do that. We actually got the new horse, can take it now. I think once I'm back, I'm also going to craft some horse armor. So now I'm also definitely picking up those wild potatoes. They were quite close to base and I just had no interest in, since they're actually really good. There's actually plenty around here. Look at it, they also last 4 months and 1 day. So in the vessel, let's quickly try it out. Should be a lot longer even. Yeah, 8 months and 2 days. It's actually really good. Yeah, I'm gonna eat more potatoes from now on. And of course, 1,000 meters away from home, I find a rooster. Oh, we spent so much time last one getting one. Should maybe explore it a little bit more. So I went a bit further up north here, because I was hoping to get a cow really close. There's some like 2 kilometers away, this area. Oh well, and now we got one already. And just slightly up further north, it snows for the first time. So around my base, I never saw any snow in winter, but just like 600-700 meters further up north, and we have some snow. So we have minus 0.7 degrees Celsius. Yeah, my base was usually in December. Yeah, right around this time, 0.6 degrees Celsius. So we're just right on the border where it doesn't snow. Alright, made it to the sphalerite vein. Unfortunately, no luck finding a cow that was somewhat closer to home than the other ones I found. Yeah, eventually we have to take the journey 2 kilometers and get some cows as well. It would be like the last animal I really need in order to get cheese. Then we have eggs, cheese, wool. That should be enough, and we have horses. Okay, then I think there was very large sample. Yeah, should be easy to find actually. And it really was. I just dug straight down and immediately hit the vein. This time I even dug out all the visible ores. There might be some hidden behind walls because the prospector pick still says there's a medium sample of sphalerite or small sample. But I think we're good here. We've got a really large amount. Almost 100 rich, then 70 poor, and 180 normal. So yeah, this should actually last a long time. Okay, then I'm gonna try to get out of here again and maybe try to explore a couple more caves in order to find some graphite. So the marble stone we have here can have graphite ore, but it's kind of rare. Definitely good idea just to go into caves. I just spent the last hour specifically looking for graphite in the raw marble biome, because that's what's supposed to generate. And no luck yet. Running around mostly in caves, so dug down, found something interesting actually here. Emerald ore, but it says you need a diamond pickaxe to mine it. I think a blue or red steel pickaxe, so the highest tier of ATFC pickaxes should be able to mine it, but up here I just get a cave in first place. But it also doesn't drop any emerald. So yeah, no emerald for me, but it's also not like I would need it for villagers or anything. I think it's pretty useless. You can make emerald block out of it. I think that's about it. Emerald powder which you can make. Has no uses at all. So yeah, not really interesting. 20 minutes later and still no graphite anywhere in sight. I think I'm just gonna throw the towel here since I just realized I forgot another toolbox somewhere. I forgot to pick it up. So this time iron javelin is gone, support blocks, planks, ladders were in there. I think my bow and the glow arrows. Not the worst loss, but still annoys me right now. So I think I'm just gonna head home. 3,000 blocks. We can search the graphite and kaolin later. Seems like we're gonna stay in the Iron Age for a while. Graphite! Oh my god. Traces of graphite. God, finally! I was already on the way home, just spammed the prospector pick and yeah, some traces at least. There's even a medium sample here, so there might be a decent amount at least. Okay, I actually just ran out of torches though. But what we can actually do now, I just saw it in a JEI, is to put a stick bunch in there. And then instead of just getting a single torch from your fire pit, you get 18 at once. Only takes a little bit longer to warm up a stick bunch. Haven't found it yet, but what I did now was I dug a 3x1, so I can immediately place the support. And just dug 4 blocks in that direction and 4 blocks in that direction. Can run there, dig 4 blocks in those directions as well without any cave-ins. And what I saw so far was that here we got a small sample, but we go to the other side, there's a large sample always. So it's probably further to that direction. Okay, then I would need another support, but it wouldn't be a problem. Just gonna line it up with the other one and dig this way. And there it is. The first graphite. Sweet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, you need another support here. But it's gonna be so worth it. What does the prospector pick say? Found graphite. Large sample still. Unfortunately, not a very large sample, but I'm definitely gonna try to get everything out of the vein. Looks like that was already it. So no more ores visible here. It only says there's traces of graphite. So maybe if I keep poking around here, we'll uncover maybe another ore or so. But yeah, nothing major to be found anymore. Okay, but still, we got 64 plus 5, 69. Nice graphite. Okay. How much do we actually need? So I know for a blast furnace we need something like 20 fire bricks. Let's see, fire brick. That's this fire brick block. And for that we need those smaller fire bricks. So basically 2.5 for 1 fire brick. And that is this fire clay. Oh god, how does this actually... boil down to fire clay is 4 graphite, 4 kaolinite, and clay. Graphite powder. Okay, so per graphite powder we can basically get 1 fire clay, and it looks like we get 1 brick. So we probably have enough graphite for 1 blast furnace, if I'm doing the math correctly. Oh, that's good news. And then there's some left over. Smaller goal is actually to get that crucible, and that doesn't need a lot of fire clay. I think we just need to make a... Oh, we can actually make it directly out of 1 fire clay, basically. So any small amount of kaolin we find means we would get a crucible at this point. The crucible is super helpful to make alloys, way better than just putting it into the charcoal forge right now. I think my luck is actually coming back. I found a cow that is only 1200 meters away. So since I still get 2 leads on me, let's bring it home. And it gets even better, only 800 meters away from home, there was a second one. Good that I had 2 leads on me. And finally, back home, the cows are attached to a fence from the house, so that worked out. Now it's time to get the HP up. I'm at 730. Yeah, TerraFirmaCraft is all about realism, and like in real life, while traveling, my diet wasn't too great. And now it's time to eat healthy again. And yeah, we can make a potato, soybean, oat bread sandwich. Yeah, it's like in real life, or it's all about realism as well. I guess the better the food is for you, the worse it tastes, but this should be really good. You can see grain 1.4, protein 1.6, vegetables 2.0. It's almost as good as it gets. If you maybe actually replace one soybean with cheese later, this could be our permanent food. Also saturation 34%. Right, let's make a couple of those. They only last 5 days. That's a bit unfortunate because the bread lasts that long. Well, it's actually a limiting factor here. Everything should last quite long. A bit disappointing. Let's maybe make 18 right away. There we go. Good food for now. In the vessel, it does last for... Wait, what? Oh, we have to seal it? Also 11 days only. Hopefully we can eat it in that time. But it does get us back up at least to 835. Yeah, 873 for now. Just need to get the protein back up. Once we add dairy to it, yeah, it's gonna be even better. I guess in the end we gotta alternate between eating pumpkin pie soup, because that soup that has a grain in it, and those kind of sandwiches. Now let's actually continue with some technical stuff. Now that we have some sphalerite or zinc, we can actually also make brass, which is required for the engineer's goggles I wanted for a long time, but also for the deployer. Why do I want a deployer? We can just look it up. So for example, this bloom we get, we had to hammer it into a refined bloom and then into a wrought iron ingot. But there's a second way of doing it. If you had a deployer, we can also, we don't even need to heat it up, just put it into the deployer machine, give it a hammer, and then we'll turn it into a refined iron bloom, which can also be put into a deployer again and turned into a wrought iron ingot. So this machine would save us a lot of anvil work. That's why I definitely want it. So let's take a look what we need for the deployer. So here we need piston extension pole, which is just some igneous alloy, which we made last time. Igneous casing, we made one of those already, and a brass hand. That requires some igneous alloy and some brass stuff, a rod and an ingot. Okay, and for the brass we needed the zinc and copper. Okay, now we would need to put it into the vessel again and so on. We can't use the ore doubling, at least that's what I thought, because the book told me so. So here it says on the ore refining page, crushed ores are too large to fit inside vessels, and as such cannot be alloyed without a crucible. Well, that's only partially true, as I really can't put them in there, but I still can actually just put the vessel here on the side and heat that stuff up and make an alloy in there, as far as I know. At least I saw Robotic do it this way. So we could have used this before when we made the, what was it, the black bronze. There I thought we actually have to use the ores, but we could have actually crushed the ores back then and doubled them basically. Okay, hope this works. I'm gonna try it out. So I made 3 of those deployers. Those are basically clicking machines. So you can give them tools and they can left and right click like a player does. I think we can break blocks and place blocks with them. I think you're gonna get a lot of use out of them. I haven't used them much so far. Still, I'm new to the Create mod, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a lot of use out of them. Okay. Yeah, then we can hook this up to the existing machinery. Check. There's my tools. As always, I need a lot of cogwheels and stuff. We're always running also low on those shafts to make the cogwheels out of, because they're actually quite expensive. They always require the raw stone, the stone that I get from mining if all 6 sides are air and they drop themselves. Really expensive. Can't wait to actually automate this stuff so we can make a fan soon. And then we just need to find a lava source, and then we can just throw a cobble in front of that. It turns it into raw marble. Then a lot of those recipes for the Create mod will become a lot cheaper. Okay, then yeah, let's try to hook up the deployer. I think I'm just gonna line it up here a little bit. There's the wall. Maybe if you move all of this 1 block further to the front. Invisible spider. I hate those. You just see the eyes. Okay, here we go. The machines are now set up. I also made myself some engineer's goggles. So now we can actually check the speedometer, see what it tells us. Okay. It says rotation speed is 10 RPM. I would have actually expected 15. Is there something wrong with the water wheels? It almost seems like the water isn't flowing properly or didn't spread to the side like it should. Not entirely sure. I think I'm just gonna put in the signs again and try again. It bothers me quite a bit, but I just couldn't figure it out. For some reason. Wait, now it's 256. Maybe I just actually broke all the water wheels and placed them again. Maybe I actually placed one facing the other way. That's the only explanation that would make sense now. Okay, but it seems like it's fixed. It spins quicker and we generate more stress units. Okay. Now we can also turn on the rest of the system, but I'm actually using 3 new components here. So first I actually have a chute here on top of the millstone. This is basically the Create mod hopper. You can take items out of the chest here and put it into the millstone. We could also put this under the millstone again and have another chest there. But it would be not really accessible. You can't redirect it like a hopper as far as I know. So it can only always go down. But there's actually basically a sideways hopper as well. The funnel here can also take out items out of the millstone or other inventories and put them on a belt. That's a new thing I also made. So we had some kelp from the early episodes. I dried some of it and crafted a belt out of it. It only requires kelp to make it. So we can attach this to one of those shafts and then connected with this one here. Now we got a belt. Items will be taken out and input goes into this chest. Okay, let's try it out. I have a little bit of poor sphalerite. Let's see if this works. There we go. First item. Let's put it into the chest so you can already check it out. Yeah, there it is. Should have maybe used a different, should have used some rich stuff. That's more likely to actually get an item. I was unlucky, only got a single one out of 16. I'm gonna get a couple more. Let's see. Are we looking in terms of ores even? There we go, rich magnetite. Let's go all in. Then we can see it a bit better. There you go. I'll just put it into this chest here. I can conveniently put all my ores in there and then just take it out of the chest later. So that's pretty neat. Yeah, we also hooked up the deployer now next to the mixer. And here, instead of using the cogs, we can also just have normal shafts and use the belts as well. can also connect it this way. It's a bit cheaper for me right now because those shafts always need some raw stone, and the belt is just dry kelp, which we have more than enough. I'm just picking up some of the raw iron bloom. Instead of using the anvil and heating it up first, I think we can just put it on the deployer now. Okay, we have to give this a hammer. Where do I aim it? I think right here. Yeah. There we go. And put it on the depot. It's hammering everything into the refined iron bloom. So it goes rather quick, but definitely want to run this a bit quicker. So here we also have now another speedometer. Yeah, we're at 64 rotations per minute. I think next episode we can actually start making a windmill. That in general definitely creates a bit more stress units than the water wheels do. Instead of adding more and more of those, yeah, we're just gonna make the windmill. Okay, it already somehow made one raw iron ingot, but I think we just have to put it on there again. And now we get the iron ingots. This is just so much more convenient. I was also curious before if we can maybe use the deployer for the leatherworking even. Let's see. For the leatherworking we have to place down a log and then put the hide on top and then use the knife. What if I give the knife to the deployer? Doesn't seem to work. That's unfortunate. But I think... which mode does it use? I think on default it's right click. So I'm not entirely sure if maybe we can change something about it. I'll try it in creative, I guess. Mystery kinda solved, so the deployer can always interact with the block 2 blocks in front. So I had to move everything one lower. And if I place the hide now, it kinda works, but only for a single spot. It seems like he can't aim at the other pixels. Ah, that's too bad. So it looks like leather can't be automatic, we have to do the scraping ourselves. Okay, I made 6 more. Actually, I want to make some leather horse armor. No, wait, iron horse armor. But just remember the recipe. Did I just ruin some leather? Nope. Got it. Leather horse armor. And I already made the iron chain mesh out of 2 ingots. Can craft it into iron horse armor. See? There you go. Wrought iron horse armor. Okay, let's put it on the fast horse. There we go. Okay. In case we get, I don't know, attacked by wolves again, the horse should be a little bit protected at least. Then we also made excellent progress with the animals. Always ran around between metalworking and so on and fed them. The cows have been fully familiarized, 35, and already got 9 buckets of milk. So if you get some vinegar, we made this earlier, this was fruit and alcohol. And mix it with the milk, so always 9 buckets of milk and 1 bucket of vinegar. You can make cheese. I think we have to put it in there. There we go. Got milk vinegar, then just seal it, curdling milk, and this will give us cheese. Then you can also finally raise the bar for dairy nutrition. The rest actually looks pretty good. So those potato soybean sandwiches are actually really good. Now if we add a little cheese to it, then we could max out 4 out of the 5. One last thing to do today. It's actually early spring again, March, time to plant the seeds. I also checked up on the melon seeds. They partially died over the winter. Some survived, but some died. Okay, so this is definitely not an option. Just keep them out. Gotta remove them at the end of the season. Or we find a better location where it's maybe hot enough so they also survive the winter. Yeah. Since at the moment I actually don't plan to eat any melon anyway, so not a big loss. Okay, then we got the potato seeds. Those needed, I think, a hydration higher than 75%. See the area here that actually expanded a bit. suitable. Hydration 100% is good. Okay, then we can plant the potatoes here. Then I also got some rice. 26 seeds. That actually said you're supposed to plant them in water. Can you do that? Rice. Is it because it's gravel? Seems to be dirt, maybe? Would make sense to me. No. Then let's see if maybe normal farmland is fine. Temperature would be too low. Okay. I'll try to figure out how to plant the rice. So first I'm actually using the full size of the field in front of the house. Still got 14 carrot seeds left, but I got a feeling the other crops are preferable anyway. Getting a lot of potatoes from this, so probably gonna eat those. Okay, then let's say that's all for the day. Made a lot of good progress. The thing I want to do next time is definitely trying to make a windmill that will help us to run our machines at full speed again. But that really depends how many sails we can make out of the wool and the jute fiber we got so far. One more thing I want to also try is to automate at least making some charcoal out of bamboo. That would be nice. There's probably also machines we can use from the Create mod, because if we check our chest, only 10 charcoal left. So that's actually so low, I'm afraid I actually have to go to the kapok forest real quick and chop a couple trees and make more charcoal so we can actually continue. But yeah, that's all for today. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.